Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today we are going to continue using the stamp set and dies from Happiness Abounds. We're also going to use the Hues of Happiness Designer Series paper, and the dies are called Blossoming Happiness dies. So I got the dies and the stamp set as a bundle, so it's the Happiness Abounds bundle. We're also going to use the Fern 3D embossing folder, as well as a stitched rectangle die and one of the basic border dies. So this is the prototype for the card I made. And this one, I fussy cut the flowers out of the Designer Series paper because I wanted to demonstrate that you don't need to have the dies. You can just take your pair of scissors and fussy cut out the flowers. But when I did this, when I put it together, I thought that this piece that I've done with the basic border die, a little bit plain underneath with the busyness of the flower. So I'm going to step it up just a notch when I do the demo on the video. So I've got a Daffodil Delight North American Standard card base, a 5 1/4 by 4 piece of the Designer Series paper. And then I have cut... in this case, I used the dies and I've die cut out the flowers to put down the side. So I'm just going to tip those off like that. And I also die cut out some leaves to go with them. I've already stamped the Best Wishes greeting in the Daffodil Delight, and it's greeting from the set. So what I wanted to work on with you during the video is creating the kind of lacy edged piece down the middle. This is a piece of basic white in 5 1/2 by 2 inches, and I'm just going to cut it down. I'm going to use sticky notes to hold this in place because I don't want it to move and create a different angle of cut. So let's sandwich this up and cut it, and then we will run it through. Again, we have to run it through twice because we need to make the kind of lacy edge on both sides of the paper. So let's just move those over there, and we will take this apart and just pop this edge off. If you wanted to keep this edge and use it for something else, you absolutely could. I will probably just end up throwing it away. Now I want to make sure that I've got my points opposite each other and my valleys opposite each other. So when I put this together, I'm going to do that to the best of my ability. And I need to be, if I do it like that, I'm fairly close. I'm lined up to the edge of the paper. Stick that down, and then sandwich it up and run it through the Stampin' Cut Emboss. And as I said, I felt it was kind of plain, so I thought I'd step it up. And I looked at the embossing folders that I've got, and I decided that I'm actually going to use the Fern 3D embossing folder on this because I feel like it will give the appearance of rose leaves underneath. So there's our piece. We've got it all cut out. And I've just realized that I flipped my paper over. So I've got the dots on this side and the stitches on this side. Because when you do this, you can see that the die actually has stitches on this side and dots on that side. And when I did this one, I did the stitches on both sides, but I managed in this case to do the dots on one side and the stitches on the other. So I am actually just going to run this through. No, I'm going to leave it as it is. I am going to just leave it be. I am using a 3D embossing folder, so I need to take all my plates off and put this in the folder. And just going to place that right in the middle of the folder like that. Squash it down, sandwich it up with the gray plate, and run that through. And again, when you're using an embossing folder, you need to make sure that your folded edge goes through first. So what that's done now is it's given us a really nice fern. I don't know if you can see that. So really nice base for the roses that I've cut out. So I'm just going to take this and just flat mount this, and I want to go this way up, and then I will match my flowers to the background piece. This, you can dimensionalize this if you want. I am just going to flat mount it, and I'm going to put an extra piece of adhesive across each end because it is that 3D folder, so it's going to be just a little bit raised on the edges. So I'm going to make sure I have this straight, and I'm just bringing it in just a little bit from the edge so that you can still see some of the pattern. And I'm going to actually, I think on this one I might dimensionalize the flowers. So I'm just going to pop a couple of dimensionals there, and then I will flat mount the leaves. So I'm putting the dark pink rose up here to go with the dark pink flowers here. And I'm just going to put some adhesive on the back of the leaves and then pop the leaves underneath like that. And I'm going to dimensionalize this next flower as well and pop that on. See, sometimes the video, it's not really fixed in my head. I have the concept, but I don't necessarily have it all sorted out. So I'm going to add some adhesive to the back of these leaves and pop them in like that. And once again, dimensionalize the yellow flower. I'm just matching the colors in the Hues of Happiness paper that I chose. There's a couple of different options for this. There's the other colorways as well. And I'm just going to drop this one down like this right here. So you could do this in a couple of different colorways. And put the leaves in like that. And then I'm going to dimensionalize the greeting and add that to the card, and the card is all finished. So what we've got is two kind of versions. This is more of a casual version, few less supplies needed, and then this is more of the kind of advanced. And I might just peel these leaves out of here and pop them in the top like that. And then I'm not really covering the leaves up when I drop my best wishes greeting on there like that. So there we go. And you can even just flip this edge of the rose, come on, over top like that. So as I said, this is more of a casual. You didn't need the dies. I just fussy cut the flowers. I've got the border die here, but I haven't used the folder on it. This one, I've got the dies and I've got the embossing folder on there just to give that kind of semblance of leaves in behind the roses. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and let's create together again soon.